They are not just big, fast, or strong, but they are animals that push the limits of human control. From silent predators to seemingly harmless creatures, each of these 15 animals carries a level of danger so extreme that it challenges zoos, scientists, and modern technology. Some kill in seconds, others plan, wait, and return. Together they reveal an uncomfortable truth: nature still holds forces that humans cannot dominate. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now let's get started. Number 15, the hippopotamus, Africa's most underestimated killing machine. When people think of the most dangerous animals on the planet, the hippopotamus rarely comes to mind first. Lions, sharks, venomous snakes, and crocodiles usually dominate the popular imagination. However, behind an almost cartoonish appearance, a massive body, and seemingly lazy behavior lies one of the deadliest and most unpredictable animals on Earth. The common hippopotamus, Hippopotamus amphibius, not only kills more humans per year than any other large African mammal, but also represents such an extreme challenge that most zoos around the world avoid keeping it. The word hippopotamus comes from Greek and means river horse, a name that already reveals its deep connection to aquatic environments. This animal spends most of the day submerged in rivers, lakes, and swamps, emerging at dusk to feed on land. This seemingly simple behavioral pattern is precisely what makes it so dangerous. The hippopotamus lives on a constant boundary between water and land, two environments in which it moves with surprising efficiency. In the water, its massive body is not a limitation, but an advantage. It does not swim like most animals. Instead, it propels itself along the bottom, using its enormous muscular strength to move with unexpected speed. On land, despite weighing over a ton, it can run at speeds that exceed those of an adult human. What makes the hippopotamus truly terrifying is not just its physical strength, but its extreme territorial behavior. Unlike predators that attack to feed, the hippopotamus attacks to defend space. Anything it perceives as a threat within its territory, a boat, an animal, a human, can become an immediate target. There is often no clear warning and no gradual intimidation. The reaction is usually direct, violent, and decisive. That is why fishermen and riverside communities in Africa consider the hippopotamus more dangerous than lions or leopards. While big cats tend to avoid humans whenever possible, the hippopotamus shows no such caution. Physically, the hippopotamus is a living fortress. Its skin can reach several centimeters in thickness, functioning as natural armor against bites, horns, and even low-caliber projectiles. This skin secretes a reddish oily substance often called blood sweat, which is not actually blood but a chemical compound that helps protect against the sun and infections. This makes the animal even more resistant to injuries and disease. Its muscles are dense and designed for explosive bursts of power, something unusual for a herbivore. The hippopotamus's mouth alone is one of the most impressive weapons in the animal kingdom. When fully opened, it can reach an angle close to 180 degrees, revealing massive tusks that can exceed half a meter in length. These tusks are not used for feeding, but for combat. The bite force is strong enough to split a human body with ease and even crush light metal structures. There are countless documented reports of wooden boats being literally bitten in half by enraged hippopotamuses. This combination of traits creates an animal that does not fit easily into controlled environments. In zoos, maintaining a hippopotamus requires enormous tanks, extremely reinforced barriers, and strict safety protocols. Even so, accidents are not rare. The core problem is that the hippopotamus cannot be fully domesticated or conditioned. It does not respond well to traditional training and does not form predictable bonds with caretakers. An individual may appear calm for years and suddenly react violently to minimal stimuli. In addition, the stress of captivity can further intensify its aggressiveness. In natural environments, the hippopotamus has space to establish clear territories and escape routes. In zoos, these options are limited. The result is an animal in a constant state of alert, increasing the risk of attacks on both humans and other animals. For this reason, many modern zoos choose not to keep hippopotamuses or drastically reduce their presence, prioritizing less dangerous species that are better adapted to confinement. Another factor contributing to the hippopotamus's lethal reputation is its relationship with humans in rural areas of Africa. As human populations grow and expand into natural habitats, encounters between people and hippopotamuses become more frequent. Trails used by hippos at night often cross villages and agricultural fields. When surprised on land, far from water, the hippopotamus tends to react with extreme violence because it feels vulnerable. unpredictable. These encounters result in hundreds of deaths every year, far more than those caused by classic predators. Ironically, being a herbivore contributes to the underestimation of its danger. Many people associate aggressiveness with a carnivorous diet, creating a false sense of security around plant-eating animals. The hippopotamus completely shatters this logic. It demonstrates that extreme aggression can arise not from the need to hunt, but from territorial defense and self-preservation. From a scientific perspective, the hippopotamus also defies simple classifications. Despite its robust appearance and terrestrial behavior, genetic studies show that its closest living relatives are cetaceans, such as whales and dolphins. This evolutionary link helps explain its exceptional adaptation to aquatic life and its ambiguous behavior between two worlds. This duality makes the hippopotamus even more unpredictable, as it behaves neither exactly like a land animal nor like a fully aquatic one. In documentaries and historical records, there are countless examples of human attempts to control, drive away, or eliminate hippopotamuses deemed problematic. Many of these attempts failed tragically. Fences were destroyed, vehicles were overturned, and entire teams were forced to retreat. These episodes reinforced the hippopotamus's reputation as an animal that cannot be easily dominated by human technology. In zoos that still keep hippopotamuses, every detail is carefully planned. Barriers are built not only to contain the animal, but to protect the public from any direct contact. Caretakers always work at a distance, avoiding entering the same space as the animal. Emergency protocols are strict, and any sign of stress or aggression is taken extremely seriously. Number 14, the polar bear. Among all the great predators on Earth, the polar bear, Ursus maritimus, occupies a unique and unsettling position. It is not only the largest bear in existence, but also the only large terrestrial carnivore that did not evolve to avoid humans. In its natural environment, there are virtually no threats comparable to it. This shaped a predator that acts with absolute confidence, extreme patience, and an instinctive coldness that makes it one of the most dangerous animals ever known. That is precisely why many zoos simply dare not keep it, and those that try face technical, ethical, and safety challenges that are almost impossible to overcome. The polar bear is a direct product of an extreme environment. The Arctic does not forgive mistakes. Sub-zero temperatures, food scarcity, and vast expanses of ice shaped an animal that must be maximally efficient. Every movement, every expenditure of energy, and every decision is geared towards survival. Unlike other bears, which have varied diets, the polar bear is almost exclusively carnivorous. Its primary prey is seals, fast, alert animals that are difficult to capture. To hunt them, the bear developed almost supernatural patience, remaining motionless for hours beside a breathing hole in the ice, waiting for the exact moment to strike. This same hunting strategy is what makes the polar bear so dangerous to humans. It observes, evaluates, and tests. In Arctic regions where human communities coexist with these animals, there are countless reports of bears approaching silently, analyzing behavior, and choosing the ideal moment to attack. Unlike lions or tigers, which often strike quickly, the polar bear may follow a person for long periods, waiting for a clear opportunity. To it, a human is not something strange or threatening. It is simply another potential food source. Physically, the polar bear is an impressive biological machine. Adult males can exceed 700 kilograms and reach more than 3 meters when standing upright. Their fat layer can be over 10 centimeters thick, functioning as thermal insulation and an energy reserve. Beneath that fat lies powerful musculature, capable of knocking down seals with a single blow and dragging prey weighing hundreds of kilograms over long distances. Its claws are curved, sharp, and designed for traction on ice, but they work with devastating efficiency against flesh and bone. The polar bear's bite is one of the strongest among terrestrial mammals. Its teeth are not only sharp, but adapted to crush bones and tear thick hides. In an attack on a human, the chance of survival is minimal. This is not just about strength, but about intent. The polar bear does not attack for territorial defense like the hippopotamus. It attacks to kill and feed. This absolute predatory mindset creates a massive problem in controlled environments. In zoos, the polar bear does not lose its instinct. It continues to observe, evaluate, and test limits. Barriers. that work for other large carnivores are often insufficient for it. There are records of polar bears attempting to open doors, push reinforced structures, and even use objects as improvised tools. Their intelligence is often underestimated, but studies show they have excellent spatial memory and rapid learning ability. Moreover, the artificial environment of a zoo is profoundly inadequate for an animal accustomed to traveling dozens of kilometers a day across ice. The lack of natural stimuli generates intense stress, which can manifest as aggressive or stereotypical behavior. A stressed polar bear does not become merely unpredictable, it becomes even more dangerous. As a result, the cost of maintaining a single individual is astronomical. Chilled water tanks, constant refrigeration systems, large isolation areas, and highly trained teams are minimum requirements. Even with all this infrastructure, accidents have occurred. In several countries, there have been cases of caretakers killed or severely injured after minimal security failures. Unlike other animals, the polar bear does not easily retreat in the face of armed humans or loud noises. Its confidence as an apex predator is so great that it often ignores intimidation attempts. Another critical aspect is the impact of climate change. With the melting of Arctic ice, polar bears are increasingly forced to approach human-inhabited areas in search of food. This has significantly increased the number of dangerous encounters. Entire communities in northern Canada, Russia, and Greenland must maintain constant patrols to drive away bears approaching villages. These encounters reinforce an uncomfortable truth: the polar bear is not afraid of humans. From an ethical standpoint, many experts question whether it is acceptable to keep polar bears in captivity. The risk to human life, the animal's suffering, and the low educational effectiveness raise serious doubts. In response, several zoos have chosen to no longer keep the species, investing instead in indirect conservation and environmental education without physical confinement. The polar bear symbolizes a clear boundary between what can and cannot be controlled. It is not just big and strong, it is a predator perfectly adapted to a world where humans were never a relevant threat. Attempting to confine it is, in many ways, an act of arrogance. Bars, reinforced glass, and modern technology may delay the danger, but they do not eliminate it. That is why the polar bear holds a prominent place among animals so dangerous that many zoos dare not keep them. It represents the purest and most relentless face of predation, a reminder that in certain regions of the planet, humans are not at the top of the food chain, and never were. Number 13, the Komodo dragon. Venom, patience, and death that comes later. Among all living reptiles, none inspires as much fear as the Komodo dragon, Varanus komodoensis. Native to a small group of islands in Indonesia, this animal appears to be a living relic from a prehistoric era. Its heavy body, thick skin covered in hardened scales, and motionless stare create the impression that it observes the world with ancient calm. Yet behind this slow appearance lies a highly specialized predator, endowed with a rare combination of strength, strategy, and a killing mechanism that continues to surprise science. That is precisely why the Komodo dragon ranks among the animals so dangerous that many zoos choose to avoid keeping it. The Komodo dragon is the largest lizard on the planet. Adult males can exceed 3 meters in length and weigh over 90 kilograms. Unlike other reptiles, it does not rely solely on speed or the element of surprise. Its hunting method is based on extreme patience. It observes, waits, and calculates. When it attacks, it does not need to kill immediately. A single wound is enough to begin an almost inevitable process leading to the prey's death. For decades, it was believed that the danger of the Komodo dragon came only from the bacteria present in its mouth. The popular idea was that its bite infected the prey, causing death days later through septicemia. While this factor does exist, more recent discoveries revealed something even more disturbing. The Komodo dragon possesses functional venom glands. This venom does not act like that of a snake, but instead interferes with blood clotting and causes a sharp drop in blood pressure. The result is a progressive collapse of the victim's body. The Komodo dragon's bite is deep and violent. Its teeth are serrated, blade-like structures designed to tear flesh with ease. When it bites, it does not immediately release. It pulls, shakes, and enlarges the wound, ensuring that venom and bacteria enter the bloodstream. Even large animals such as deer and water buffalo rarely survive after a successful attack. The prey may initially escape, but the dragon simply follows the trail, using its extremely well-developed sense of smell to locate the weakened animal hours or days later. This strategy makes the Komodo dragon especially dangerous to humans. Unlike defensive defensive attacks, which are usually quick, a dragon's attack can be calculated. There are documented records of fatal attacks on people on the islands where it lives. In many of these cases, the animal did not strike immediately by surprise, but only after observing the victim for some time. This ability to assess transforms the Komodo dragon into a mentally active predator, not merely an instinct-driven one. In captivity, these risks multiply. The Komodo dragon is extremely territorial and reacts poorly to confined spaces. It cannot be reliably trained or conditioned. An individual may appear tolerant of human presence for years and then suddenly attack without any visible warning. This makes the work of caretakers extremely dangerous. In zoos that keep the species, safety protocols are strict. No one enters the enclosure without multiple barriers, and direct contact is avoided as much as possible. Another serious issue is the intelligence of the Komodo dragon. Studies show that it is capable of recognizing patterns, learning human routines, and exploiting security flaws. There are reports of individuals attempting to push doors, dig under fences, and even feign disinterest to approach distracted caretakers. This combination of physical strength and cunning makes any mistake potentially fatal. In addition, the Komodo dragon displays brutal feeding behavior. It does not chew like most animals. Instead, it swallows large chunks of meat whole, using violent neck movements. In extreme cases, it can consume up to 80% of its own body weight in a single meal. This behavior demonstrates not only its physical capacity, but also the level of aggression involved in feeding. From an ethical and practical standpoint, many zoos question whether it is worth keeping an animal with such a high level of risk. Security costs are high, educational value is limited, and danger to staff is constant. As a result, only a small number of highly specialized institutions agree to keep Komodo dragons, and even then under extremely controlled conditions. In the wild, the Komodo dragon sits at the absolute top of the food chain. There are no natural predators that pose a real threat to a healthy adult. This position has shaped an animal that does not fear confrontation and does not retreat easily. To it, any smaller creature, including humans, can be seen as potential prey. The Komodo dragon is living proof that not all dangers in nature are fast or obvious. Sometimes death comes slowly, silently, and inevitably, initiated by a single wound. It is this combination of patience, venom, and intelligence that makes it one of the most feared animals on the planet, and one of the main reasons why many zoos simply do not dare to keep it. Number 12. The saltwater crocodile. The largest killer reptile on Earth. Among all living creatures that still walk, or slide across the surface of the planet, few inspire such a primal fear as the saltwater crocodile. Crocodilus porosus. It is not only the largest crocodilian in existence, but the largest living reptile on Earth, a direct survivor of lineages that dominated the planet millions of years before humans appeared. Its colossal body, instinctively strategic mind, and ability to kill in absolute silence make it one of the most dangerous animals ever known, and one that most zoos avoid keeping. The saltwater crocodile can exceed 7 meters in length and weigh more than a ton. Unlike terrestrial predators, it dominates two worlds, water and land. In the water, it is virtually invisible. Its eyes and nostrils are positioned on the top of its head, allowing it to observe its entire surroundings while remaining almost completely submerged. To an unsuspecting victim, the crocodile does not seem to exist until the exact moment of the attack, and by then, it is far too late. A saltwater crocodile's attack is one of the fastest and most violent events in nature. In fractions of a second, it explodes out of the water with immense force, clamps its jaws onto the prey, and drags the body underwater. The bite force of this animal is the strongest ever measured in any living creature, capable of crushing bones with extreme ease. It is not merely about holding the victim, but about physically destroying it within moments. After the capture, the crocodile often performs the so-called death roll. It spins its own body violently, tearing limbs apart, breaking joints, and completely incapacitating the prey. This movement is not random. It is a technique refined by evolution to dismantle large and resistant bodies. For a human, surviving this process is virtually impossible. What makes the saltwater crocodile even more terrifying is its instinctive intelligence. It is not an impulsive predator. It observes patterns, memorizes routes, and learns behaviors. In regions of Southeast Asia and Northern Australia, there are records of crocodiles that learn the times when fishermen enter the water, positioning themselves strategically for ambushes. This behavior demonstrates that the crocodile is not merely a biological machine. preying, but an adaptive hunter. Unlike many dangerous animals, the saltwater crocodile does not avoid humans. In its territory, it does not recognize humans as something special or dominant. To it, any creature that approaches the water can be prey or a threat. This predatory neutrality is extremely dangerous. There is no intimidation and no clear warning, only attack. In captivity, the challenges become nearly insurmountable. An adult saltwater crocodile requires enormous enclosures with reinforced walls, deep tanks, and containment systems capable of withstanding brutal impacts. Even so, there are countless records of crocodiles attempting to climb, push, or break structures. Its strength lies not only in its bite, but in its entire body, supported by dense muscles and an extremely powerful tail. Another serious issue is its unpredictable behavior. A crocodile may remain motionless for hours, appearing completely inactive, and then suddenly attack with total violence without any visible change in posture. This makes the work of caretakers extremely risky. In zoos that keep saltwater crocodiles, direct contact is virtually non-existent. Safety protocols are strict, and even the smallest mistake can result in instant death. In addition, the saltwater crocodile has an impressive lifespan. Some individuals can live for more than 70 years. This means decades of constant risk, high costs, and a prolonged commitment to safety. Many zoos simply conclude that the risk does not justify the educational value. In the wild, this crocodile occupies the absolute top of the food chain. It hunts fish, birds, large mammals, and even sharks. Yes, there are documented records of saltwater crocodiles attacking and killing sharks in coastal waters. Few animals can claim such dominance. Its presence completely alters the behavior of ecosystems. Animals avoid areas where it lives, routes are changed, and entire populations adapt to its constant threat. In human communities near rivers and estuaries, the crocodile is not just an animal, it is a force of nature that imposes daily fear. The saltwater crocodile also represents a psychological limit for humans. Unlike predators that can be scared away or avoided, it cannot be negotiated with. It feels no empathy, recognizes no dominance, and does not respond to intimidation. Where it lives, the environment belongs to it. For all these reasons, the saltwater crocodile stands out among the animals so dangerous that many zoos do not dare to keep them. It is living proof that evolution can create predators so efficient that even modern technology cannot fully neutralize them. A survivor from ancient eras, a silent killer, and a brutal reminder that in certain places on the planet, nature still reigns supreme. Number 11. The box jellyfish, the brainless animal that kills in minutes. Among all the dangerous creatures on the planet, few challenge human logic as much as the box jellyfish, which belongs to the group of cubozoans. It has no brain, no bones, no claws, and no teeth. Yet it is considered one of the deadliest animals on Earth, capable of killing a human in just a few minutes. Its biological simplicity contrasts brutally with the lethal efficiency of its venom, creating a paradox that intrigues scientists and terrifies marine life experts. That is precisely why no conventional zoo dares to keep it. The box jellyfish lives mainly in the tropical waters of the Indo-Pacific, especially around Australia, Southeast Asia, and northern Oceania. Visually, it is almost invisible. Its body is translucent, cube-shaped, and easily blends into the surrounding water. This natural invisibility would already be dangerous on its own, but the true terror lies in its tentacles. Each individual can have dozens of them, some exceeding 3 meters in length, covered with millions of stinging cells called nematocysts. These nematocysts function like microscopic syringes. At the slightest contact, they fire automatically, injecting an extremely potent cocktail of toxins. The venom of the box jellyfish is considered one of the fastest acting and most painful in the animal kingdom. It simultaneously attacks the nervous system, the heart, and the skin. In severe cases, the victim can collapse before even being able to call for help. What makes this creature even more frightening is the speed at which the venom acts. Unlike toxins that take hours to have an effect, box jellyfish venom can cause cardiac arrest within minutes. There are medical records of victims who died before they could even get out of the water. In children, the risk is even greater, as the relative amount of venom compared to body weight is devastating. Even when death does not occur immediately, the pain is described as unbearable. Survivors report an intense, continuous, crushing sensation accompanied by severe skin burns. The marks left by the tentacles can remain visible for years, serving as permanent scars of a near-fatal encounter. This level of extreme suffering is one of the factors that makes the box jellyfish a true biological nightmare. From an evolutionary perspective, the efficiency of this animal is disturbing. Despite having no brain, it can actively move, hunt small fish, and avoid obstacles. This is possible because the box jellyfish has a highly specialized, decentralized nervous system. It also has primitive eyes, something rare among jellyfish, capable of detecting light, shapes, and movement. This allows it to navigate with surprising precision, increasing the risk of accidental encounters with humans. In controlled environments, keeping a box jellyfish is nearly impossible. Unlike fish or marine mammals, it is extremely sensitive to even minimal changes in water quality. Temperature, salinity, currents, and even vibrations can affect its behavior. A small mistake can cause the animal to fragment, releasing equally venomous parts into the environment. This creates a constant risk not only for the public, but also for highly trained technical teams. Another critical problem is that even when dead, the box jellyfish remains dangerous. Its nematocysts can remain active for hours, sometimes days. A simple contact with a detached tentacle can cause severe envenomation. This means that any failure in containment, cleaning, or maintenance can result in fatal accidents. For zoos, this level of risk is considered unacceptable. There is also the factor of environmental unpredictability. At certain times of the year, box jellyfish appear in large numbers, forming true lethal zones in the ocean. Entire beaches are closed, and special nets are installed in attempts to prevent their entry. Even so, accidents continue to occur. This difficulty in controlling them in nature reflects exactly what would happen in captivity. An animal impossible to contain with absolute safety. From an ethical standpoint, the presence of a box jellyfish in a zoo would raise serious questions. The educational value would be limited, as the animal cannot be displayed safely without multiple barriers, which drastically reduces the public experience. At the same time, the potential risk to staff and visitors would be constant, even under extreme protocols. The box jellyfish represents one of the most disturbing lessons of biology. Lethality does not depend on size, intelligence, or physical strength. A simple, silent, and almost invisible organism can be more deadly than large predators. It does not chase, it does not attack by choice, and it does not display aggression, yet contact with it can be fatal. For this reason, the box jellyfish holds a special place among the animals so dangerous that no zoo dares to keep them. It symbolizes a different kind of threat, fast, silent, and impossible to predict. A reminder that nature does not need giant monsters to be lethal. Sometimes all it takes is something almost invisible drifting through the water. Number 10. The African elephant in fury. The African elephant, Loxodonta africana, is often portrayed as a symbol of wisdom, memory, and tranquility. Documentaries highlight its intelligence, complex family bonds, and impressive emotional capacity. However, this serene image hides an uncomfortable truth. When an African elephant enters a state of extreme aggression, it becomes one of the most destructive forces in nature, capable of causing deaths, devastating entire villages, and defying any attempt at human containment. That is why many modern zoos avoid keeping adult elephants, especially males. The African elephant is the largest land animal alive. An adult male can exceed 6 tons and reach more than 4 meters in height. Every step carries colossal weight, and every movement involves immense muscle mass. Unlike large predators that rely on teeth or claws, the elephant uses its own body as a weapon. Ivory tusks, a powerful trunk, and an extremely robust skeletal structure turn this animal into a true biological tank. The real danger, however, lies not only in its size, but in its unpredictable behavior, especially during a period known as must. Must occurs mainly in adult males and involves intense hormonal changes with extremely high levels of testosterone. During this period, the elephant becomes extremely aggressive, territorial, and intolerant of the presence of any other being, and including humans, other elephants, and even vehicles. A male in must can attack without warning, traveling long distances and destroying everything in its path. In the wild, these episodes are already dangerous. In captivity, they become a logistical nightmare. An elephant in must cannot simply be controlled. Sedatives have limited effect and can put the animal at risk. Physical barriers often cannot withstand the force involved. There are countless historical records of elephants knocking down walls, steel gates, and reinforced fences with alarming ease. Beyond must, chronic stress plays a central role in the aggressiveness of elephants in zoos. In nature, these animals travel dozens of kilometers a day, interact within complex social groups, and constantly make decisions. In captivity, even in the best enclosures, these needs are rarely fully met. The result is accumulated frustration, which can manifest as sudden aggressive behavior. Another critical factor is the elephant's exceptional memory. It not only recognizes individuals for decades, but also remembers negative experiences with remarkable clarity. An elephant that has suffered mistreatment, isolation, or intense stress can develop a long-lasting aggressive response. This means that a single incident can permanently alter the animal's behavior, making it dangerous for years. The trunk, often seen as a delicate and versatile organ, is also a powerful weapon. With more than 40,000 muscles, it can lift logs, uproot small trees, and throw objects with surprising precision. In conflict situations, the trunk can be used to grab, shove, or hurl an opponent with devastating force. The tusks, in turn, function as natural spears capable of piercing rigid structures. Zoos that still keep elephants face extremely high costs and constant risks. Teams must be highly trained, and direct contact is increasingly avoided. Many fatal accidents involving caretakers occurred precisely because an animal that appeared calm reacted explosively to a minimal stimulus. Unlike other animals, an elephant cannot be physically restrained by humans in an emergency. In regions of Africa where humans and elephants share space, conflicts are frequent. Elephants can destroy entire crops in a single night, generating extreme tension with local communities. In confrontations, the elephant rarely retreats if it feels threatened. This reality reinforces the notion that despite its intelligence and sensitivity, it is an animal that cannot be underestimated. From an ethical perspective, debate is growing over the presence of elephants in zoos. Many experts argue that the risk to human life, combined with the animal's psychological suffering, makes captivity inappropriate. As a result, several zoos around the world have ended elephant programs, transferring them to sanctuaries or abandoning the species entirely. The African elephant represents a powerful paradox, an animal capable of deep empathy, yet also of extreme destruction. It is not dangerous out of malice or predatory instinct, but because of a combination of size, strength, memory, and intense emotions. When it loses control, there are no bars, technologies, or human courage that can easily contain it. For this reason, the enraged African elephant occupies a central place among the animals so dangerous that many zoos do not dare to keep them. It is a reminder that the greatest threat does not always come from sharp fangs or fast-acting venom. Sometimes it comes from tons of force driven by emotions we are still far from fully understanding. Number 9. The African buffalo, the animal that never forgets and never forgives. The African buffalo is responsible for more human deaths in Africa than many large predators. Unlike animals that attack out of fear, the buffalo attacks out of vengeance and memory. It recognizes past threats and may return days later to attack again. Extremely strong, fast, and unpredictable, it has been observed attacking lions, vehicles, and entire groups of people. Its collective aggressive behavior makes it even more dangerous, as buffalo defend one another in a coordinated manner. In zoos, its brute strength and unpredictable temperament make containment extremely risky. Number 8. The king cobra, intelligence, venom, and awareness of the attack. The king cobra is not only the largest venomous snake in the world, but also one of the most intelligent. It recognizes threats, raises its body to intimidate, and can pursue targets over long distances. Its venom is powerful enough to kill an adult elephant, and the volume injected in a single bite is devastating. Unlike other snakes, it does not bite reflexively. It chooses to attack. This cognitive capacity, combined with the extreme danger of its venom, forces zoos to adopt near-military protocols, and leads many to simply give up on keeping it. Number 7. The black rhinoceros, territorial, fast, and lethal. The black rhinoceros is one of the most aggressive large mammals on the planet. Despite having poor eyesight, it possesses extremely sharp hearing and smell. When it detects something unusual, it attacks immediately. It can run at over 50 km/h, 31 Nm/h, and weighs more than a ton. In captivity, this territorial behavior intensifies, making management nearly impossible. There are numerous reports of rhinos destroying fences, vehicles, and reinforced structures. Its aggression is not defensive, it is proactive, which makes it extremely dangerous. Number 6. The stellar sea lion, hidden strength and deadly jaws. The stellar sea lion is much larger and stronger than it appears. Underwater, its agility is terrifying. Its jaws can crush bones, and its territorial behavior can turn violent quickly. In captivity, there have been fatal attacks on humans during routine maintenance. Its muscular strength, combined with intelligence and curiosity, makes conventional containment fail. For this reason, very few aquariums dare to keep adult individuals of this species. Number 5. The silverback gorilla, an unstoppable explosion of strength. The silverback gorilla may seem calm, but when it feels threatened, it releases an almost unbelievable explosion of strength. A single strike can be fatal. It does not attack for fun, but when it attacks, it is decisive. Its musculature is built for raw power, not endurance. In zoos, any human error can be deadly, as there is no physical way to contain an enraged adult gorilla. It is an animal that demands absolute respect and constant distance. Number 4. The gray wolf. Strategy, pack, and coordination. The gray wolf is dangerous not individually, but as a group. Its collective intelligence allows coordinated attacks, silent encirclements, and constant testing of weaknesses. In captivity, this dynamic becomes unpredictable, as wolves maintain rigid hierarchies and can react violently to minimal changes. Zoos avoid keeping large packs because a single mistake can trigger a chain attack that is impossible to contain. Number 3. The great white shark, the predator that cannot be controlled. The great white shark is one of the few animals that simply does not function in captivity. Its size, constant need for movement, and predatory behavior make any attempt at confinement a failure. It does not recognize artificial boundaries and reacts unpredictably. Most die quickly in tanks, and the few cases of temporary maintenance ended in serious failures. It is a predator that belongs exclusively to the ocean. Number 2. The Siberian tiger, the hunter that learns to hunt humans. The Siberian tiger is the largest feline on the planet and one of the few predators that have demonstrated the ability to actively learn to hunt humans. Living in the cold regions of the Russian Far East, it has adapted to a harsh environment where food is scarce. This scarcity has shaped a patient, strategic, and extremely silent hunter. Unlike other big cats, the Siberian tiger does not rely solely on instinct. It observes patterns, memorizes routines, and tests boundaries. Historical records show tigers spending weeks studying villages before attacking. Its colossal size, incredible strength, and intelligence make it practically impossible to contain in captivity, which is why few zoos dare to keep it. Number 1. The honey badger, the animal that recognizes no fear. The honey badger, Mellivora capensis, is small in size but colossal in danger. Considered by many biologists as one of the bravest animals on the planet, it simply does not recognize hierarchy in the food chain. Lions, leopards, hyenas, and venomous snakes are not seen as threats, but as obstacles. Its compact body hides extremely dense muscles, loose and tough skin that resists fatal bites, and sharp claws capable of opening beehives, carcasses, and even artificial structures. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting videos appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.